Hello everyone. In this video I want to show you how you can make a simple calculator application in MATLAB, and you can even make it standalone, so basically it works on its own without MATLAB. So here is the picture, the figure of the GUI activated, and this is the code behind the scene. And all I have is a bunch of push buttons and the display. Okay, this is the text window that you can basically read and write text to, especially write something to. So, and I call it simple, but actually it's quite a bit powerful. You see, it has most of the arithmetic operations. It even has a number pi in it. So let's say I want to know what is the sine of parentheses pi over 6, and the sine and cosine and tangent, they are in radians. Okay, so sine of pi over 6 close and equal to, and there we go, half. I can use backspace to get rid of what I did. I can use C to clean up everything. Or what is 5 factorial, huh? There we go, 120. Or anything else, right? What is 5 reciprocal? Here, 0.2. What is like 10 of 100, right? 2. You see, so it is working just fine. And you see that it's completely functional. So you might say, okay, that should be complicated behind the scene, right? To get something like that? Well, actually, no. I'll show you that actually it's very easy to make this. So what you need to do is to open up guide. And by the way, guide is gonna go away in future versions of MATLAB, and so you better use MATLAB Application Designer. But this is the guide, okay? And here, let me open the figure that I made for this. So you can make it with App Designer too. App Designer is object-based, object-oriented programming. This one is a little bit different. But here is this GUI that I made for it. And you see each one of them is a push button. So for instance, if I double click on this, you see it's called push button 7. And what does push button 7 do in the code? Let me show you. So if I look at push button 7 in the code, right? Let's find it. So push button 7, there we go. What does it do? It gets the GUI data of the object, of the figure object, and assign it to the variable handles. Then this variable handles is a structure. It has a field called .text, which I created. And this .text, what I say is, whatever it was, strcat means add to the end of it, what? 1. So whatever the text that the user has typed or entered so far, when they push on that number 1, go ahead and concatenate to the right end of it a 1. And that's basically what 1 does, right? You click whatever you had in the past. If you had a 3, now I click on 1, right? So let me do it again, this 3, and then if you, so right now the text is 3. If I click on a 1, it's gonna concatenate that 3 with the 1. Okay, that's all it does. Now, what does backspace do? Well, backspace, of course, it should get rid of the last character, right? So what is the backspace here? If you double click on the backspace, it's push button 37. So let's go ahead and see what 37 does, which is toward the end. So again, you see it gets the handles, the GUI data, and then it says, hey, if length of the text is bigger than 0, if something is typed, if there is something, go ahead and the text at end, the last character, set it to what? Set it to basically nothing. Set it to nothing between, you see there is no character type between the quotation marks. You should not even say space, because if you do so, later when we want to evaluate that expression, this space cannot be evaluated. So it should be just nothing, like that. You're getting rid of the last character basically. And then update the handles back, right? And when you update it here, also go ahead and on window text 2, the string of it, show what? Show this updated text. So what is text 2? Text 2 is this guy here, this window. This is called text 2. So it says the string that you're going to show on it is the updated text. Show it there, update the handles of the figure object, and done. Okay, so you see all it does is if there is something, it is going to get rid of the last character of it and show it, of course, on the window. And that's the same with anything else. Like, for example, if I go back on one of these other characters, for instance, 0, right? You see, when you add the 0 to everything else on the right, you are going to show the result right away on what? On text 2. So you see the effect of it immediately. Okay, parentheses are the same. All of them are the same. Plus, minus, all these symbols will be added. Now, what do we do when we click on C? So, of course, you have to now clean the entire text, not just the last character. So here, let's go and look at push button 32. So in push button 32, you can see that. What am I doing? I'm setting the entire handle.text to nothing. Last time we did handle.text end. This time we don't have end. We just get rid of everything and, of course, show that nothing on the window. So basically clean up the window. That's what it does. That's the C button. Okay? And everything else is the same. So you just add something, right? Now, if you click on the equal sign, this is where the calculation is done. So this is called push button 36. What am I doing in 36? Let's take a look. I say, hey, get the data, and then what? Evaluate. Let's bring it back up. What happened? Evaluate the handle.text. What does this one do? It evaluates that text into a number. It evaluates that text into a number here. And now I want to show that number on window text 2, but window text 2 accepts the string. So I use this command num to string to convert that number coming from the eval into string and then show it, right? So you see, by the eval, I evaluate the operator with all the numbers, then convert it back to string so I can show it on text 2. And let me show you in MATLAB what I mean. So if I have what? If I have, say, eval 4 times 2, right? Yes? So what do you think would happen? Inside the window I pushed on button 4, then I pushed on the star or asterisk, or in the calculator the times, and then 2. Then when I click on the equal sign, it runs this command for me, right? Look. You see, it converts it into a number, and then I say what? I say num to str of this answer. So it converts it into 8, but as a character, and then it can be shown on that text 2 window. You see, and you can do more complicated than just 4 by 2. You can say what? You can say factorial of 4 times 2, right? You see, it's still working. So that eval command is the essence of this calculator. That's all this one does. strcat, getting rid of some character or all characters, and the eval command. That's all you need to make this amazing, powerful calculator working. That's all it is, as you can see. Okay? And this is for parentheses and so on. Left parentheses, right parentheses, you see? So I can do anything, and this calculator is working beautifully. The files that you need are the .fig, the .m, and then I have 3 pictures also that I use to make my calculator nicer. One of them is pi here. Okay, this pi is not a number that I can show here, right? On these other ones, when I double click, right? Let me show you. When I double click here, it says, what is the text? And then I say what? I say the text is what? 5. The string is 5. So I can display 5 or 6. But I cannot display pi. So what I do for this push button, which is push button 13, when that one, before anything happens, that one, it reads this image pi.ping, and it is going to show it over there. Look, you see? So I made that picture for that button specifically, and let's go and look at push button 13. So you see what that one does here. Look what it does. It says, hey, handle.text, you update the pi, and then of course you put it there and everything. But the thing is reading that image. So when you push on that button, it's not like when you push on the button, this pi appears. You see, when I start this without even anything, without even pushing on this pi is already there. So without me pushing on the push button, that pi should be read, that image should be read and be displayed here. So that should not, the code for that should not be under push button 13. It should be elsewhere. Where? Let's go and find it out. So here we are looking for somewhere that we are reading images, right? And showing them. And it's not just pi, that's here. It's not just pi. We also have this other picture called backspace. And for backspace, right, for this one, I also need to have something, or I could use a backward arrow. But here I just typed in backspace, and again, that's this picture here. Right, there we go. And this calculator image JPEG, this is really a picture that I wanted to initially show, but now I just have it on the app, and you really do not need this, okay? You really do not need this. So what am I doing here? Look, this is the part of the GUI called opening function. This is everything that happens before you click on anything. These are all the codes running in the beginning of launching a GUI. What would happen here? Because look here, when I open the figure, those guys are empty. But when I click on the run, the first thing happens before it looks which button you are pushing, it runs this part of the code. What does it do? It starts the handles.text as empty and show it there. Then it reads the image pi underscore picture ping, and then it goes set handles.pushButton 13 see data and image 1. So each push button, not only they have a text or string, actually, they have a tag, they have font size, font text, and so on. They also have another property called see data, and this is where you can store an image. So you say, hey, read that image and put that for the image of push button 13. Also, the one for push button 37, read the one for backspace picture and show it on what? Push button 37. So this is the part that I'm reading and putting those images on those push buttons. And the rest of it, as I showed you, is to use those push buttons one by one. So as I promised you, I am going to share with you this calculator.app.zip, app.zip. And this one has the M file, the .fig, and the two pictures you need for pi and backspace. Find the download link under video description so you can play with it and learn from it. And thank you so much for your attention. So I'll see you in the next lecture. Thank you.